What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you the mechanics of the fighter class in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, currently in beta. I'm going to level with you. Fighter is about as vanilla as it gets. It's the equivalent of picking human warrior in an MMO. Describing what a fighter is essentially just that, a warrior. They excel in martial prowess and sometimes wear armor. So they're kind of the catch-all class for when you want to hit something and you don't necessarily want to specialize into anything in particular. That say, like, maybe a barbarian and their rage doesn't appeal to you or something. But with that out of the way, let's jump into it. For class skills, the base fighter gets athletics, knowledge world, lore nature, and persuasion. For proficiencies, they are proficient with all simple and martial weapons, as well as all armor, heavy, light, and medium, and shields, including tower shields. Now, in my opinion, the best thing about the base class fighter, or just fighters in general, is all the bonus combat feats you get. So, the base class will actually get a feat every level as opposed to every other level that most classes get. Now, it's worth noting that for the extra combat feats, they do have to be actually tagged as a combat feat. So, stuff that doesn't pertain to combat, you won't be able to pick with these feats. However, you can, of course, still pick them up through the regular means of your normal feats. And with getting a feat every level, you're going to have tons of chances to do that. Now, fighters also get what is called bravery. So starting at the second level, you will get a +1 bonus on will saves against fear, and this will increase by +1 every 4 levels thereafter. They also pick up armor training. So at the third level, fighters will become more maneuverable in armor. What this will actually do is reduce the armor check penalty of your armor to a minimum of 0, and it will increase the max dexterity bonus to your AC allowed by that armor by 1. Then at 7th, 11th, and 15th level, this will increase by +1 up to a maximum of -4 reduction on your armor check penalty and a +4 increase to your dexterity bonus to AC. That is allowed, not necessarily that you would automatically get it, of course. The fighter will also be able to move at normal speed in medium armor, and at 7th level, you'll be able to move at normal speed in heavy armor. At 19th level, you will actually also pick up Armor Mastery, which will give you armor reduction 5 whenever you are wearing armor or using a shield. And then we have weapon training. So at 5th level, you will get to select a group of weapons. Whenever your fighter attacks with that group of weapons, they will get a +1 bonus to their attack and damage rolls. Now, every 4 levels after this, 9th, 13th, and 17th, you will become further trained in another group of weapons, giving you a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls for that new group, and increasing the bonus from the previous group by +1 as well. So, when you reach 9th level, you would have a +1 bonus to attack and damage on the one you just picked, and a +2 bonus on attack and damage to the group that you picked at level 5. Any group that kind of overlaps, you don't get a double bonus from. You will, however, get to pick the highest bonus of the two. You will also add this bonus to any combat maneuver checks made with weapons from those groups, as well as your combat maneuver defense, while defending against disarms made from the weapons in these groups. And then at level 20, the base class fighter will pick up Weapon Mastery. So at 20th level, you will choose one weapon, like a longsword, great axe, like one weapon type, basically. And any attacks made with that weapon will automatically confirm their critical threats. So if you're unaware, when you roll a critical in Pathfinder, what you're actually doing is rolling into your threat range for your weapon, which is normally like 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. Most weapons, it's like 20, just a natural 20. But sometimes you'll get stuff that's like 19 to 20. And when you roll those, you make what's called a critical threat. However, you then have to make a separate attack roll that then also has to clear the enemy's DC to actually confirm the critical hit and actually become a critical hit. Now, rolling a 20 is a guarantee to hit regardless, but you do have to confirm the critical hit. Unless, of course, you have Weapon Mastery, in which case weapons will automatically confirm their critical threats and have their damage multiplier for those criticals increased by 1. So times 2, it becomes times 3, for instance. Moreover, with Weapon Mastery, you cannot be disarmed while wielding that weapon type. That brings us to the Aldori Defender archetype. Aldori Defenders are like kind of dueling people, basically. Now, they pick up the weapon proficiency for the dueling sword right off the bat. However, they do lose some of their bonus combat feats, as you can see here. In addition to losing some of the armor training, however, they do retain armor mastery at level 19. Now, at 3rd level, they're going to pick up defensive parry. When they make a full attack with a dueling sword, they gain a +1 bonus to AC against melee attacks until the beginning of the next turn. The bonus increases by +1 every 4 levels. At 6th level, Aldori defenders pick up Disarming Strike. When a Sword Lord successfully disarms an opponent using a dueling sword, the Sword Lord will then also deal normal damage to the target, but without a strength bonus added to the damage. At 8th level, they gain the Steel Net feature, which means when they are fighting defensively with a dueling sword equipped, their penalties on all attacks in a round are reduced by 2, and the dodge bonus to AC is increased by 2 for the round. At 10th level, they pick up Counterattack, allowing them to make an attack of opportunity as an immediate action against any opponent who hits the Sword Lord with a melee attack, so long as the attacking creature is within Sword Lord's reach. And that brings us to Armoredgers. So Armoredgers are kind of interesting because these are basically Hell Knights in training. Now, while at least in the games you don't actually have to be an Armoredger to pick up the Hell Knight Prestige class, this is typically what you would pick to lead you into that class. So a couple of things about this. One, we're not going over too much of what the Hell Knight entails because it's a separate class. It's a Prestige class, which I plan on covering later. However, it is worth noting that the Armoredger does have some significant changes to their base class. For example, Bravery gets replaced with Ardent. That is to say that Armoredgers are difficult to sway from their beliefs. So starting at 2nd level, they gain a +1 bonus on will saves against charm and compulsion effects. This increases by every 4 fighter levels beyond 2nd level. Moreover, the first time per day an Armoredger fails a saving throw against a charm or compulsion effect, they re-roll the saving throw with the same DC. Armoredger will declare a Hell Knight order that they are trying to join. However, they don't really gain any benefits from this at all. And I will go over the Hell Knight orders when I cover the Hell Knight Prestige classes, because that's who those orders actually affect. All you're doing here is declaring an order. So if you declare an order with this fighter class or fighter archetype, later on, when you choose a Hell Knight Prestige class, you will be forced to pick that order. So just something to keep in mind there. Again, it doesn't really confer any benefits to the Armoredger themselves. And they also pick up Studious Squire, so they will gain 1 additional skill rank at each level. In addition, they gain Knowledge World as a class skill. This does replace the combat feats you would get at 1st and 10th level. And then we have the Dragonair Scion. So this is essentially like if you had a draconic bloodline but didn't cast spells. So what it actually entails is, for starters, losing some of your combat bonus feats, as we can see here. You also lose your armor training abilities, as well as armor mastery, as well as weapon mastery. But in exchange for those things, you pick up Arcane Strike as a base feat at level 1, which allows you to imbue your weapons with +1 damage, and they are treated as magic for the purpose of overcoming damage reduction. You can choose to apply this power to your weapon as a swift action each round, and then every 5 caster levels you possess, this increases by +1. And because the Dragonair Scion isn't typically going to be casting, I believe this uses your just Dragonair Scion level in place of the caster level. I could be wrong about that, but that seems to be how it works. And then, being a Dragonair Scion, which of course implies Draconic heritage, you do get to pick a bloodline at level 1. You do not get the typical bloodline like benefits and things like that accompany most of the other like sorcerer bloodlines. This is of course because this is a martial class. If you double this up and like take sorcerer levels or something later on, and you choose a draconic bloodline, you do have to pick the same type of draconic bloodline. So, has to be like the same color or dragon type. Moreover, while I don't see them noted here, in pen and paper versions, Dragonair Scion gained a couple of abilities that allowed them to use their chosen draconic bloodline's energy type on some of their attacks, which makes sense. However, I don't see any of those abilities here. Just something to keep in mind. At 6th level, we pick up Dazzling Display as a feat. And then at 15th level, we automatically gain Wings. That is to say, we grow a pair of wings. And they give us a +3 dodge bonus to our AC against melee attacks, and immunity to ground-based effects such as difficult terrain. Now that brings us to our Tower Shield Specialist. For them, Bravery is replaced with Burst Barrier. At second level, the Tower Shield Specialist will use their shield to screen themselves from burst spells and effects. They gain a +1 bonus on reflex saves against them while using their Tower Shield. This will increase by +1 for every 4 levels after the second level. They also lose weapon training for a number of other things that increase their effectiveness with Tower Shields. Now, at third level, the Tower Shield Specialist will gain Tower Shield training. They will gain their normal armor training, but also while they employ a Tower Shield, the armor penalty is reduced by 3, and the maximum dexterity bonus allowed to their Tower Shield increases by 2. This increases every 4 levels like the regular armor training as well. However, if you're not wielding your Tower Shield, this just becomes regular old armor training, essentially. Now, at 5th level, we pick up the class feature Tower Shield Specialist. So when you're using a Tower Shield in combat, you don't take the normal -2 penalty to attack rolls because of the shield. At 9th level, they pick up Tower Shield Defense, gaining their shield bonus against touch attacks. At 13th level, they pick up Total Cover, which means they are immune to being flanked. At 16th level, they pick up Evasion, essentially, so this literally works as Evasion. When you make a reflex saving throw against an attack that would normally deal half damage, if you succeeded on the reflex saving throw, you will actually take no damage instead of half damage. And then at level 20, that becomes Improved Evasion, where even if you fail the check, you then only take half, whereas passing the check still takes no damage at all. And that brings us to Two-Handed Fighter. So they lose Bravery and their armor training. However, they gain some more interesting things in return. So for starters, they pick up Strong Grip. It gives them a +1 bonus to combat maneuvers as well as combat maneuver defenses on sunder attempts and disarm attempts. These bonuses increase by +1 every 4 levels beyond second. They also pick up Two-Handed Weapon training. So whenever they make an attack with a weapon from Two-Handed Weapon group, they will gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls, increasing every 4 levels after they pick it up at level 5. They also pick up Overhand Chop at 3rd level. When they make a single attack with the attack action or a charge with a two-handed weapon, they add double their strength bonus to the damage roll. Then at 7th level, they pick up Backswing. When they make a full attack with a two-handed weapon, you add double your strength bonus on damage rolls for all attacks after the first. At 11th, they pick up Pile Driver. As a standard action, they can make a single melee attack with a two-handed weapon. If the attack hits, they can make a Bull Rush or Trip combat maneuver against the target of the attack as a free action that does not provoke the normal attack of opportunity. At 15th level, they gain Greater Power Attack. When using regular Power Attack, which is a feat, the bonus damage is increased to 100%, that is to say double, instead of increased by 50% or half. Now you do have to be using the two-handed melee weapon to gain that effect. At 19th level, they pick up Devastating Blow. As a standard action, they can make a single melee attack with a two-handed weapon at a -5 penalty. However, if the attack hits, it is treated as a critical threat. However, if it is confirmed as a critical hit, special weapon abilities will not activate on a Devastating Blow attack. There you go, guys. There is a look at the fighter as well as all of their archetypes in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So, if you just want a basic class or archetype just to hit something, here you go. This is about as good as it gets. So, there you go, guys. There's a look at everything. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, I hope you'll give the channel a like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless, truly, just thank you guys so much for watching. We hit 5K subs recently, which is just crazy to me. So really, just cannot thank you guys enough for your continued support. Thank you so much for watching. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.